call the August 14th, 2025 ParkerWater Board meeting to order. We've got Bill Wasserman from the board present. We've got Brooke Booth, myself, Merlin Klotz. We've got Don Langley, and Robert Kanawha is online. From staff, we've got Deborah Oshansky, Kathleen Sellers, Jeff Vargas, Heather Justice, Lisa Skurlock, and Jared Mann, as well as our, Kathleen's from our law firm, and Ron Red, our manager, and then Kathleen Sellers, our legal representative. Time for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any unscheduled items of public interest? Seeing none. Changes and additions to the agenda?
We have none.
None from the staff, none from the board. Board comments?
You know, I was just going to mention something. On the Canyons page, one of the homeowners reached out to me. She's been working with James. A lot of the homeowners wanted to do a tour. So she was thrilled that that James was so forthcoming and willing to set it up. So it was good to see all the interest and all the people that are interested in coming in. So hopefully when they plan it, I don't know if you know the date that it is yet, I'll try to see if I can join too, just since it's where I live.
Absolutely. I think what we're working on is they want to tour the water plant and they want to tour the wastewater plant. And so we're trying to get that scheduled because it's actually a fairly long tour. I think we're going to set it up as more of a peel off. We'll take you to the water plant, and if you want to stay for the other one, you can. So I think we're getting closer to a date.
Good.
So,
Excellent.
but yeah, James, that was a great connection. We had 17 members that were interested.
There was a lot I saw. Perfect. That's it.
Any other comments? Hearing none. Leadership team.
Okay, so I'll show you the latest at Reuter Hess. It's typical this time of year, but we dropped about a little over 500 acre feet. This is over a 3-week period, so it's right in line with what we normally are dropping. But it's what the reservoir is for, and we're still close to 26,000 this time of year, and the team's doing a good job trying to manage that elevation. So I wanted to pass that along. There's a couple of things I didn't put on this agenda I wanted to make you aware of. I handed out a sheet. It's got a spreadsheet on it. When we were looking at the credit cards, and the goal of the board was to be transparent on a lot of the credit card charges, and we drew a number, anything above 2,500 we would submit to you. I think last month it was only like 3 employees, and so Jeff Vargas did some research, and he's recommended, and I agree, if we get down to the $2,000 number, that captures 67% of the cost for that month, and we think that's probably a good transparent number. We can see how that goes. He's got it somewhat automated, so it goes pretty quick for him, but we're recommending instead of 2,500 to go to 2,000. So not a big change, but
I thought we were at 3 before.
or were we at 3? We were at 3. That's probably why we only had a couple. So
Yeah, 2.
and then we are recommending the financial policy workshop be September 11th. Deborah went through and looked at our upcoming budget schedule and our agenda items, and we'll have next week, and again, our next board meeting, we'll have our new CFO with us, and we'll be talking budget priorities. The 11th is a light day. We thought that would be a good time to have the policy workshop, and then we go on to our normal budget discussion and start going through the detailed budget, public hearing, and resolutions. So we're recommending, sorry, we're recommending a shortened business meeting. I think we stay under 15 minutes, and then we adjourn to a policy discussion on financial reserves. We're working with Dawn to help outline how that would look. I think it'll be a good, well thought out program that the board can react to and provide feedback. So it'd be a board night like normal, but we'll do a work session basically instead of a regular meeting. Does that work?
Did you want to try and start earlier? I think that was,
Well, we're thinking hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, so we'd be done by 8. But that's totally up to the board. If you guys want to start earlier, we could, move it up half hour.
I think for the benefit of the online people, if anybody's online, I'd probably stay consistent.
I think we have 13.
Okay.
And 3 of them are my kids. So
Okay. So that would be my only thought, is consistency.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. For the
I'm open,
normal,
just-
for our normal meeting
Yeah,
being at 6.
yeah.
Okay. I get you, yeah.
okay, great. We'll get that set up then. All right, engineering. So tonight, there's a lot of things going on in the world. School started. So you have the A team. Don't get used to it. And so I'll hand it off to Heather.
Good evening. Just a quick update, a couple of things. We did host our webinar on the Water Efficiency Master Plan on Tuesday. Several of our partners from our local jurisdictions attended that webinar. We did record the webinar and plan to post it on the YouTube channel once we have it edited. We have received some public comments. Right now, we're at about 10 people have commented. Oh, no, sorry. 8 people internally have commented and 3 externally, which has produced about 10 questions from outside of staff. The public comment period is open until September 19th. And then at that time, we will consolidate all of the questions and any feedback into one of the appendixes for the final to be sent to the state. The public comments can be submitted through the conservation at ParkerWater or at pwsd.org. And then if the board wants to discuss the web, we're open to. So we had an interesting question from our operations staff. They wanted to know what the savings could potentially be if we went into a stage 2 drought or emergency response. So engineering took a look at that, and basically what a stage 2 represents is irrigation and like stuff with the no fire drills, extra fire drills, and construction, water, that type of stuff. So if we had to go into a stage 2, we could potentially save about 4.5 to 5 MGD at that time.
Who would make that call?
The board.
Okay.
Yeah, we would be recommending that to the board.
That's all that we have.
Good evening. So James is camping, so I'm here for James tonight. Go over some numbers for you from the operations team. This looks familiar, what you see each meeting or each numbers week. Starting with the wastewater plants, our flow's been real consistent. As you go to the Cherry Creek diversion structure, however, you will see a pretty significant jump in the water that was moved from there, and that's based on the fact that in May and June, we were making up depletion, so we weren't able to pump that water up there. So big jump in that. And I think, Ron, we touched on the volumes of Rooter Hess there, so we have the same numbers there. So slightly down, but we've been using that water, obviously. And then looking at the WISE and the water treatment plant flow, we've gone up in July. It was a hot month and a lot of usage. So, and then also for the wells that we've used in the month of July also went up. And then our average production went up by, 2 MGD, so pretty significant for that month. So got the breakdown here for the source, water production by source. And we've got our renewable water is up 33%, or not up by 33%, but up to 33% from 26% this same time last year. So working more toward our target there. And then you can see the breakdown between the wells and the water plant and the WISE for July on the graph here, and then what came from the wells. So any questions on that one? Okay.
Nope.
Now, this is the one Brooke talked about, the Canyons customers, and we had the calls come in a lot during the conversion, or, during the chlorine burn. But we've seen a drop in that since the conversion has happened back to the monochloramines. So you can see that in July, that number really spiked up. And it was taste and odor, which is what we, if we were going to get anything, that's what we expected, and that's what the majority of those were from.
Are we fully filtering all our water now?
No, we still have a few that are not filtered, and everything's running right now. So off the top of my head, I can't tell you which wells, but not every
I was just
single
curious, 'cause
source.
I'm still seeing-
Riata, Riata, for instance, it's on the radar to be filtered, but it's not, that project's not done.
But
So,
where I
It's
am, I
underway.
think it should be all filtered, but
Oh.
we get a lot of,
agreed.
we're still getting the red water ring around the toilet type thing. And I
We're
was
getting there, yeah, absolutely. So on this next one, though, I'm sorry, I'll show you on the next slide. But just to show you the locates here, we try to put the numbers up here for the WISE locates and then for the ParkerWater locates. But they're still up a little bit. You guys can see there's a lot of construction around the district. So that's what we attribute that to.
Can we go back to the quality calls for a second?
Absolutely. Yeah, oops, wrong way.
I don't know that we have to go to the slide,
Yeah.
but, I mean, it looks like 80 calls, you said?
Yeah.
You said
Just
a lot
over.
from the canyons? I mean, these weren't all from the canyons?
No, they weren't all from the canyons, and I don't have the breakdown by neighborhood, but they were just the most, I would say the most interaction that James had was with the folks from the canyons.
Yeah, we had the one in particular, right? that was-
Right,
one
and there were
lady
a
went
couple
on
that he had quite a bit of dialogue with back and forth via email and phone
Yeah.
calls, and even went on site, so.
I mean, is there any reason why the canyons would be more affected than anybody else?
No, the Canyons has a well house pretty close by, so the chlorine's probably a tad stronger. This was district-wide, calls coming in. We just had a small group in the Canyons that called multiple times, but this is a district-wide number type thing. I did check, I think it's going on 2 weeks since we converted. Right after we converted, we had 2 calls. And I know the last week and a couple days, we've had 0 calls. So we're definitely back to normal.
Yeah, okay, good, thank you.
So with that, the chlorine conversion going back is what's, Ron just talked about, no calls, that's the result of going back. So we switched back starting on July 28th, and it was completed on August 1st. So that's really an unbelievable time frame that we were able to convert this entire system back to monochloramines. That was with the help of not only our water resources department, our district services team also participated, and we had some temporary folks that also helped to speed that process up so that we could reduce our customer concerns about the water quality. So it really, really took down the taste and odor complaints during that time. So that was attributed to the hard work of our water resources team and those that helped them. And then the last thing here is the annual distribution system of the fire hydrants throughout the district have been completed, and it's a month earlier than we normally have it done. So we had a significant amount of seasonal help that's, we don't always have them stay the entire summer, and it's really helped us get through this process. So usually it's not until the end of August that we're able to complete that. And just over 16 million gallons of water were used to flush our entire system.
So how do you come up with the 16?
They measure when they're flushing.
By time? I mean, they time it, or they put
They have,
a little meter that goes on?
on the back of the truck, they hook up a meter on the back of the truck, and they're able to meter what's going through there.
All right, good, thank you.
And that's
Any
all.
questions? Seeing none, Jared, you're
Thank
up.
you.
Good evening. I'm delighted we're nearing completion for SpryPoint and the Brightly CMMS programs. We've completed the inventory workshop and bringing all of the inventory locations together in one document and to bring into the asset essentials. And we have started the user acceptance testing on site with our teams to find challenges inside the system and get those corrected before we go live. On the SpryPoint CIS side, they're working diligently to understand the system, train our users, validate the bills, and make sure everything in the financial side and the customer service side align. And happy to note that the Spry backflow system, they will be cutting over next week for that. So it'll be our first of the modules that we do that will go live next week. We sent out some tidbits to our customers over the last couple months in the quarterly newsletter. I apologize for the small font because this is a cut from it. Letting our customers know that this is coming. So that was one of our first kind of touch points with our customers. And then in the August billing statement, we also let our customers know about this is coming soon and what to expect. And then Nikki will be coming to the August 28th board meeting and giving a full update to the board on the SpryPoint communications plan and how we intend to communicate with our customers that transition.
So when does Aquahawk die?
It'll be that October 20th is the current projection, barring any significant changes.
I do have an update on that. One of the plans is to have Aquahawk live till the end of the year, give people time to transfer over, so.
It will be live in conjunction.
Well, they'll be running in parallel. You can just kind of toggle back and forth.
That way, if there's any challenges with people coming late to the party regarding the transition, they're not losing or not able to see their meter or bills.
Okay, thank you.
Our beloved emails, we're still hovering around 72,000 emails. We're blocking 11,000 of those. We're noticing an uptick in advanced threats and viruses in the system. That is due to the environment that we live in. One of the things that the ParkerWater IT team and cybersecurity team are looking at is we are now participating in a National Institute of Standards and Technology cybersecurity framework assessment, understanding where the industry is going and making sure that we are in alignment with that. The significant change here is that they've included governance and upstream supply chain management systems and understanding risks from third-party vendors and suppliers and how they can affect your systems. On the left, you'll see a most recent cybersecurity event that occurred in Minnesota, where the city of St. Paul was actually exposed to a cybersecurity incident that shut down their systems. They were not able to take payments, and so they had to delay any shutoffs. And they're still undergoing that attack today. So it's been about a week and a half that they've had that incident exposure. And on the right, you'll see an exposure to SharePoint. It's a document management system that the national U.S. nuclear agency was exposed to, shut down their systems. We are not exposed to that. We have a cloud-based environment for our SharePoint, so we are not vulnerable to that hack that was exposed.
It seems like we continue to get all this spam mail of like, I know on my account, you go in and suddenly there's a new vendor and they've slammed you with about 3 or 4 different financial things and stuff, and I try and remove them as quickly as I can and cancel the subscriptions and stuff, but it's like every day, it's like trying to pop the gopher with whack-a-mole when they come up. They just keep coming and coming. It's really difficult to keep up with them.
We've noticed an uptick here at Parker Water, and we are assessing it right now. We've noticed for particular users, the board and some of our staff that communicate with external vendors more frequently, engineering project managers, an uptick in spam. We believe it's associated with the transition to a second internet service provider that we've had that might tune their system a little different than our other provider. So we're actually in communication with them right now to understand how are they tuning it and looking at alternatives to make sure this is the right one we want to go with, because we've noticed the same trend.
I thought, though, isn't there some laws that you can't just, theoretically, you're not supposed to spam people, but they just constantly.
So the U.S. government instituted a law that for phone lines, like the old POTS lines, you could block your phone number. But for mobile devices, those are not included in that regulation. So you don't have that ability. And email doesn't have any restrictions on it.
So before Catherine says anything, when Jared mentioned backflow, I wanted to pass along to the board a backflow event that's close to home for me. I went to school for a couple of years in School of Mines at Butte, Montana, and so I get news from them. They had Butte, Montana is known for its copper mining. They had a mining company. Their pressure of the mining company tailwater type stuff went into the potable system. They don't know for how long, but they've had the water shut down for over 24 hours in Butte. That's homes, businesses, and everything. And it was interesting to read. They don't know what's in the water other than sodium, or sulfur, and calcium, but it's been shut down. And they're still flushing and testing. And so what was interesting to me is the company that had the failure promised the community that they had already ordered the backflow equipment installed, so that would never happen again. And so I was quite surprised that the state of Montana doesn't require backflow. But we do, and we have a really good system. So I thanked all the folks over in the backflow world that wasn't me standing in front of all those cameras, but that's just an absolute nightmare to happen. So it's all yours. Sorry.
All right. Staff is working on the land acquisition for the Platte Valley Water Partnership, and we're assisting with that where necessary. And we actually have a meeting tomorrow to hopefully finalize one of the contracts to be presented to one of the owners. The water rights trial date was vacated by the court. The court agreed to that. Water Council is talking with Castle Rock to see if we can use their trial date in October of next year. If that doesn't work and we can't get an agreement on that, obviously that involves the opposers in both cases as well. It will be 2027 before we have a trial date. So in the interim, we are working to get additional water litigation help for your water council, and also trying to keep momentum going in resolving the issues with the remaining opposers in the case.
Would Castle Rock still go ahead with theirs? Or they'd have to wait on us to go first? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
It's sooner for Parker. So.
if we can use their date, but if we can't, then both of us are kicked back to some unknown time. But, yeah.
And on the water treatment plant filter issues, your consultant, Carla Kinzer, I guess, is working on a final report to identify solutions to the issues and to eventually meet with Kruger and figure out what their involvement in solving solving those issues are, and probably bringing back further legal options to the board if those conversations don't work out. So looking at September or October for those conversations with Kruger. That's all I have.
Okay, that moves us toward Resolution 2025-05. Before we start that, I'd like to make a couple comments. Little history that some of you know, maybe. But we took control of the board in May, and we hired Ron on January 4th. And I can never get the year quite right, but I think it was 2012.
13.
13? Okay. And within about a week or two or three after we had Ron on, the finance director, Ann, was a delightful lady, but the job had outgrown her, offered her resignation. And Ron sends out to the board an email with a job description of who he wanted to hire and to fill the position. And 4 of the 5 board members sent it back to him and says, no, we don't need another accountant, another bookkeeper, we need a CFO. And his response at the time, as I recall, was, we don't have it in the budget. And the board, the 4 people who'd responded the first time responded back effectively saying, screw the budget. We are a growing entity, and we have to have the best we can get, who's CFO caliber, who can take care of bonds and other issues, finances related to the growth that's in front of us. And so Ron went out and hired this fellow sitting back in the back of the room. And so I would like you two to come forward. And I'm not sure if the mic will pick me up, but I'll try.
We got one.
She's a big part of this.
I guess she is. That's my better 3/4.
Okay. Resolution 2025-05, a resolution of appreciation recognizing the contributions of Chief Financial Officer Steve Hillman. Whereas during the past 12 years, Steve Hillman served as the first Chief Financial Officer of Parker Water and Sanitation District. Whereas on July 4th of this year, after nearly 38 years of service to local governments, Steve Hillman retired from Parker Water and Sanitation District. Whereas during his tenure with the district, Steve brought his knowledge and financial expertise to numerous major district projects, ensuring the financial stability of the district while it continued on its mission to deliver state-of-the-industry water and sanitation sewer services to its customers, and while the district planned for the future of the community. Whereas Mr. Hellman's contributions were essential to countless district achievements, including without limitation the following: the development of a solid and sustainable financial plan, the district's receipt of an impressive AA+ Standard & Poor's rating, the provision of significant savings to the district customers due to his management of several district bond offerings, the supervision of the district's implementation of an enterprise resource software system, the support provided to district employees' financial needs during the country's period of high inflation, the district's securing of financing for major necessary infrastructure projects, including the district's new headquarters, the district's development of a long-term water fee to protect the future water needs of the district customers, the creation of an extraterritorial PILT fee to ensure all district customers contribute equally and fairly to the cost of district services. Whereas, through the above-listed accomplishments and numerous others, Steve Hellman played a major role in the district's core mission to sustain life for its community. And whereas, the district's board of directors desires to express its sincere gratitude and appreciation for Steve Hellman's service to the district, and its wishes that he enjoy a long and fulfilling retirement. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the Parker Water and Sanitation District Number one, the Board of Directors hereby thanks Steve Hellman for his 12 years of service to the Parker Water and Sanitation District and his invaluable contributions to the district and its employees, customers, and community. And two, the Board of Directors hereby directs Mr. Hellman to stride forth on his recently upgraded youthful knees and enjoy his well-deserved retirement with his plentiful Hawaiian shirt wardrobe. Done and resolved this 14th day of August, 2025.
So for Sue here, I'm not sure if she knows how close her husband came to really being a contender, because he probably hid this from her. But when we did a bond issuing a while ago, the first time we did it, it was phenomenally successful to the point that we gave Steve a little bit of a bonus. But we had to take some money back because he was, I forget exactly where he screwed up, but we took $5 from him because of that, out of his bonus. So
she had something taken out of her bonus, too. I appreciate the opportunity to serve, and this is very nice. Thank you. It's team effort. A lot of people here and here to help support that. So thank you very much. We've come a long way, baby. Next person can take over now.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Steve. Good luck.
I hereby make the motion to resolve for the resolution of 2025-05 as we just recited. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second and a motion. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 Unanimous.
I'm not sure if Robert's online, is he? Yep,
I think he is.
just reminding you, yeah.
Okay. All right, approval of minutes, July 24th, 2025. Any changes or additions?
So moved.
We got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, do we have a vote?
Yes.
Yes. Accounts payable, are there any unresolved issues on accounts payable? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. We have a
Second.
second and a second. We have a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Request for approval, Parker Ridge Booster Waterline Project Construction Contract.
Good evening. Tonight, we have Alex Sofranco joining us to present this topic and the next topic. He is one of our CIP project engineers, and he does a great job.
Good evening. So yes, I'll be talking about the Parker Ridge Booster Waterline Loop project. The project location for this, so it's just east of Parker Road in the Canterbury Crossing neighborhood within PWSD's highest elevation zone. It's right near the Parker Ridge Booster Station. So in this area, there's a bit of a dead end in our distribution system where about 300 plus service connections are, mostly made up of single family homes. This area is supplied by a 16-inch ductile iron pipe along Buffalo Berry Drive. And so the purpose of this project is to, one, create a loop to provide continuous water service to these customers if there were ever an outage on that 16-inch pipeline, and also to enable us to be able to repair some of those valves that are along the pipeline. The repair of the valves will not be a part of this project, though. So the design phase, a little bit of background. So we entered into contract with Freese & Nichols as the design engineer on this project back in October of 2024. They designed a 698 linear foot pipeline, and it'll be a 16-inch diameter PVC pipeline that connects that 12, or a 16-inch into a 12-inch along Buffalo Berry, and then the 24-inch, which is just east of Parker Ridge Booster Station. So we released the IFB for bids in June 19th, and then received bids from 5 different contractors for this project on July 17th. Full Scope Civil Group came in at the lowest bid for $273,570. So we decided to select Full Scope Civil Group. Obviously, they're the lowest bid. After reviewing their proposed bid, they had a lot of relevant project experience, a lot of Denver-based projects that they've worked with other utilities in the area on similar pipelines, and so they just demonstrated a full understanding of the scope of work for this project. As far as the schedule goes, we're anticipating the construction to be completed on this pipeline by November of 2025. The contract plus a 10% PWSD managed contingency puts us at a total requested authorization of $300,927, and combined with the design engineering contracts with Freese and Nichols, puts us at a total project amount to date of $413,761, which is well within the total CIP budget allocation for this project. Any questions?
Would you go back to the dates page? I kind of got lost in it. Okay, the engineering design has already been done then.
Correct, yep.
And construction bidding phase, okay, gotcha, okay.
Have we ever worked with this company before, or no?
No, we have not.
Okay.
No, but they've worked with like Denver Water and Westminster, I believe, and Freese and Nichols reached out to both of them, and they had great things to say about them.
Yeah, so you're going to complete this work in roughly 90 days?
Yep, yes,
So,
correct.
I mean, all the materials are available, everything you need's good to go?
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Do we have a motion? We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have a vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Request for approval, Hazen and Sawyer contract for the Denver Basin Well Sites Phase 2.
Okay, so yes, this will be amendment number 2 for the services during construction for the Denver Basin Wells Phase 2 and pipeline project. So a little bit of background on this project. There's 2 different new well sites. Both of them have 1 Arapahoe well and 1 Denver well at each. Combined, it'll be about an additional 3 MGD for our system. The first well site is the Badger Gulch well site. That Badger Gulch well site will include about a mile-long pipeline that'll carry the water to Ridgegate Well House to be filtered and sent to our system. And we're expecting that to be in production or at full startup by Q3 of 2026. And then the other well site is the Hess 3 well site, which will connect to an already existing raw water pipeline and carry the water to Reuter Hess Well House to be filtered there. And that'll involve some upgrades to booster pumps and electrical equipment within the Reuter Hess Well House. And we're expecting a startup of sometime in early 2027 for that project. So amendment number 2 for this contract is to allow Hazen and Sawyer to, 1, provide design package for the high note section of the pipeline. I'll talk about that on the next slide. But it allows them to complete the design, coordinate with the developer for this, and provide services during construction. And then it also allows Hazen and Sawyer to perform services during construction for both the Badger Gulch well site and the Hess 3 well site. So the High Note design package is a 333 linear foot section of the pipeline that carries the water from Badger Gulch well site to Ridgegate well house. The reason we need to do this is because the city of Lone Tree is currently working on the Justice Center just north of Ridgegate Parkway. As they're getting ready to start that construction, they're going to be paving High Note Avenue north of Ridgegate. And we need to be able to install this pipeline before that road is fully paved. So we've been working with Coventry Development Corporation, the developer out there, to get this design put together and as part of their bid package to develop the High Note and the Justice Center part of this development. Typically, we would wait until all of the design is complete to be talking about services during construction, but the main reason we're bringing this contract up now is for the High Note package, so that all of that work is ongoing. We need to have the funds to be able to pay Hazen and Sawyer to do submittal reviews and responses with the contractor, and making sure that that infrastructure gets installed in a timely manner. And then as far as Badger Gulch goes, we're expecting the design for that to be finished in September, and so we will also need to enter into services during construction for that project in order to provide bidding assistance and overseeing the construction of that portion. And then HES 3 will probably be shortly after, at the beginning of 2026. So I've already kind of touched on this, but for the Badger Gulch well site, we're expecting construction to be completed by Q3 of 2026, and then construction of the HES 3 well site sometime early 2027, so that they're both online by the peak demand season of 2027. So the requested amount for this amendment number 2 for the High Note design package, the engineering services during construction for all the High Note, Badger Gulch, and HES 3 is $585,228. That would put us at a total project budget spent to date of $1,179,909. Now that $585,000 will actually be split between 2 different CIP budget line items. So we have $10 million in the budget for the Badger Gulch well site, and then $10.8 million for the HES 3 well site. So as they're working on the different well sites, we'll divide those funds to the proper allocation. Any questions?
Any questions? Okay. Hearing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a vote?
Yes.
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 Okay. Resolution 2025-06, amending district's employee handbook to allow for health benefits for certain part-time employees. First reading.
All right, so our HR manager, Amy Schramm, is going to follow up on the conversations we've had over the last couple of meetings and be available to answer any questions.
Yep, thank you. So tonight, we're just asking an amendment to the employee handbook to change the eligibility status for health insurance for full-time employees that transition into a part-time status. And that coverage would only last up for 12 months as they enter into that part-time status. We feel that this change would help us assist in our succession planning. Right now, we have the potential to lose up to about 15% of our staff over the next 3 years due to retirement. So having this slow transition out of our current employees, along with bringing in those new employees, would help within that transition process and help the continuity of the business and help develop and grow employee development. So this is the first reading for this, so we are just taking any questions or comments that you have at this time.
Any thoughts?
None here?
I think it's a good idea. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty forward-thinking.
Give you some
Not many
latitude.
organizations would think of that.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You. Okay. Seeing no more other line items on the agenda, unless somebody's got a question or something more to
Do we have
add?
to vote on that?
No, that's a first reading.
Oh, sorry.
Adjourned.
Gets two. Sorry. I thought it was the third.
Well, we had conversations, isn't it?